And so that's the whole thing, right? That now we are being taught, we're being trained, we're being educated, we're being equipped, amen, we're being empowered. Why? To go and possess the promise. It's real quiet here today. And that ain't because there's only a few of us in here. Okay, I'm going to leave that alone. He circumcises them. He tells them right and wrong. He holds them accountable. He holds them to be responsible. He places expectation and demand upon them, expecting for them to rise up. Why? Because God is making them in the wilderness.
That's good.
And so he said, Joshua, take over and go do what you got to do. Equip them, train them. Watch this. Because I need them now to be ready to replace their forefathers so that they can get the promise. Why? Because hear this, there's a whole generation that God is depending upon, and he's dependent upon that generation, because if that generation doesn't come through, God becomes a liar. There are some things that God promised in your lineage, and if you don't come through, it makes God a liar. How you like that for weight? God spoke some things into your family that is meant now to manifest through you, through your children. And if you don't raise them up to be right, if you don't raise them up and circumcise them, and the thing that God said would manifest in this generation does not happen, it makes God out to be a liar.
Jesus. That's heavy.
Joshua circumcised them. And here's the key. And after they were circumcised, and we've talked about this part before, now they all settle and they rest until they are healed. But wait a minute. I'm circumcised, right? I'm equipped, I'm empowered, I'm ready to go. But now, because of the circumcision, you've got to know enough that I've got to stand down and sit still. And see, here's a problem in the house, is that when we get empowered, and just because we've been circumcised, just because I'm free, all of a sudden now I think that I'm ready to go. God help me. And God says, not so, because you still got a healing process to go through. Because if you don't get healed, you're going to get out there and run into some mess that's going to wind up slinging you right back to where you came from.
Glory.